Northerners, due to religions, adoption of religions, we seem to lose all our native names and we are not using them. When I say we are losing our history, that's part of the history I'm talking about. As a Northerner, when you become a figure, a big figure, without your native name attached to any of your name, we are not being recorded in history books. That's my number one point. Number two, our forefathers didn't have a choice, and mothers. Majority of them were forced to leave their continent and sent away. The few that were left adopted religions. And due to that, the foreigners couldn't spell our names. Adopted names were given to them, which they didn't have any choice anyway to begin with. Today we have choice. Fortunate enough, some of us were able to go to school and be able to read and write some of these our traditional names and understand the meaning of it. And yet, we just choose to abandon these names. There's a say that you can never know where you are heading if you don't know where you are coming from. The sad part about this thing that the people that are affected more about the traditional African names, majority of these people are the Northern Ghana people. We are losing our place in history when it comes to either African history, Ghana history, Ghanaian history, or the world history. We are losing a place in history. Because when we're being recorded in the history books, they are not recording us with our traditional names addition. The adopted names are what they have been recorded on. And in Ghana, when they call a Muslim name, generalize everybody Muslim as a Northerner. But they cannot tell where the person comes from, what village or what region. This is the point I'm trying to make. When this person was cursing Northerners, the person mentioned the two presidents we ever had. I'm trying to make a point here. Dr. Hilaire Limah. Hilaire is a sisterly name, which you can know that the guy is a Northerner from the northern part. John Dramani Mahama is also a northern name. But at the same time, you can never tell where that name comes from, because we are all Northerners. And at times, a Northerner, any person with a Muslim name can even be someone from Mali or Nigeria or anywhere. They generalize everybody with a Muslim name as a Northern people, without a trace, without history that this person belongs to these groups. That's the point I'm trying to make today. We need to realize that the Northern Ghana people are losing their place when it comes to history recorded in Africa as well in Ghana. We are not being recorded proper into the history books due to the point that we don't associate ourselves with our native name, even if it's one of the native names that we put in the book. The third point I want to make, the American President Barack Obama name was Barack Hussein Obama. His father was a Kenyan. This father makes sure the child has their name. So one day, even when the father is back in Africa, but the child will always know that his name is unique. It's not a Western name. And today when Barack Obama became the president, this name made him to stand up in the world. Everybody knew he was African. That's what I'm asking for our people to do at this point. We still have future leaders coming up in our northern sector or wherever they may be coming from. We need to please go back and pick our traditional names up. This subject may not mean much to certain people or many people, but this is very, very important. I'm just praying that at the time we realize that we are losing our place in history, and we already lost so much of it. by then, when we wake up, by then, I'm praying and hoping that it won't be too late. Those days that people tell us our names were not pure and were no good for us, I know today. And yet, we let this thing continue. We still value more of the adopted names than our own traditional name. The adopted names are the same traditional names from the adopted people countries, their native language. Why are we still using these names without adding our name to it? We are losing our place in history. This is serious matter. People are not realizing this. I'm nobody. I'm just a person that cares about my people. And when I think about what our forefathers and mothers went through for us to be able to call African continent as home and live peaceful without any disturbance, it hurt my heart to find out that we are not honoring their legacy by continuing using our traditional names. In fact, there is nothing wrong if you want to use your adopted names. It's fine, you can use it. But make sure you incorporate your native name among the adopted names. So when they record your name in the books, whatever office you may go to, whether you are a parliamentarian, they have your native one name addition. It's not too late. If we wake up today, we can correct history. Ghana is how many years? Maybe 60 years? We are not that far gone yet. We can correct this issue. I'm praying to every man, I'm begging to my northern brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. We need to make an effort to put every child that is born today need to have a northern traditional one name in their birth certificate. Every child need to have 3 names. When they go to school, record their native name addition to the adopted names they have. So when they get to somewhere in life, when they become a big person in life, or a figure in the world, a public figure, that name will always record addition. They will always record the native name addition in the history books. That means that we have been recorded well in the history books. But at this point, we are not being recorded at the history books very well. People say, what does she mean? What I mean is, like, if your name is like Momunu Mama, who is Mama? Are you an Arab guy? If you have Mama Turosum Momuni, or if you have Momunu Turosum Mama, at least you have your native name among the names you are using. That means they recorded you in history books. But when we lose that part, the northerners are not being recorded in any books. We need to wake up and think about this issue. People might think that she's just sitting there, blowing air. I'm not blowing air. I'm one of the victims. For years, I think my family name was too local for me to use. I changed it. And today, when I saw the light and woke up, I realized I needed that name more than the name needed me. I picked it up and I'm using it today. I'm fortunate enough to travel the world. And those of our brothers and sisters that were forced to leave the continent, anywhere in the world that I go and I talk to people, the first thing they always say, how they were stripped out of their names. Africans may not have much, but throughout the world, everybody knows about African rich history and culture and our resources. Please, I beg to my brothers and sisters, we need to continue this legacy. Our families, our forefathers may not have much, but they have their oral tradition that was passed through generation to generation. And today we are able to know more about our forefathers. It's our duty to continue this legacy and pass it on to our children so they can also pass it on to their children.